A Grand Slam winning rugby star.
What are you laughing at?
Because he's my friend and he's just all these best-selling author.
Confidence is shot to pieces here.
He's a best-selling author and, most importantly, he's the son-in-law of Richard Madeley. Now, that is a fact.
That is a fact.
Yeah.
And James joins us now where he's released a brand new book, Approach Without Caution. James, this is your 6th book. I've got to say, first of all, before I do anything here...
Yes.
You're massive.
Oh.
You're absolutely massive. No, honestly, when he came in...
It's all right, Andy, her eyes aren't painted on, mate.
No, I will say, he looks a lot bigger in real life than you do on the telly. You're big...
There's so many puns and jokes, but I remember we're on morning TV this morning, I will segue away from them very rapidly.
Having read only a short bit of your book, he could say anything. 6 books, James.
Yes.
I mean, it's really surprising.
Yes, it is. To look at me, you wouldn't imagine I could even write one.
Yeah.
Or if I did make, there'd be colouring in one. So I've had it all before, Andy. I've had it all before.
But not from me.
Not from you, no. Not on national TV either. But no, yeah, it's one of those things. I was very lucky to get an opportunity to write different books, and the first kind of 3 were around health and fitness, and then I kind of went into autobiographical mode with kind of What a Flanker and Rugby, and they were very successful. One of the things that came out of those books was people really appreciated my approach to mental health and how vocal I was about it, kind of my how I dealt with failures, and sometimes with a mind and a mouth like mine, you put yourself into awkward positions, you end up having a few, falls along the way. So how you pick yourself up and how you deal with kind of the modern world, and also that kind of no excuse mentality. If you want to go after something, how do you go after it? And that's how Approach Without Caution was born.
Did it really come out because the book was born out of you having a moment of lack of confidence, which doesn't happen often?
Yes, I think it did. Look, one of the things I talk about in the book was I did a TV show called Catch Point, and I was sitting on a train and I on the way back, and I was with my wife, and I sort of, I spent all this time working on mental health and speaking to a psychologist from the age of 17. And one thing people get very confused about with mental health now is that they think that if you go and see someone or you reach out, that you're never going to have a bad day and that you're going to be sort of protected against that. The honest answer is you will always feel bad. You will always have highs, lows, moments of anxiety, moments of insecurity. It's how quickly you get back on track. And this was the show that you can see now when I sort of end up missing a catch, and obviously I don't know what I was doing there. But I kind of sat on the train and I sat there with my wife and I was like, why am I still reacting like this? Why do I still feel bad? It's a TV show. Who cares? It doesn't matter. And I sort of wanted to share that kind of journey and story and to say to people, look, whatever you're going through, there is always a way out of it. And mental health is about taking proactive work. It's not just about talking, it's about matching it with action. And I think a lot of people get confused with that. A lot of people talk about feelings and we label everything, but we don't actually put the work in and we don't do what's required. And we think that you're never going to have a bad day, which we all do.
But as a rugby player, in a room full of men, the alpha male, we're all alpha male, did you end up not talking that much throughout your career? Bar being vocal and banter, what about talking about feelings? I assume that just never happens.
It did. Look, I think contrary to the belief, especially around sports people and that male-dominated changing room, is actually guys would speak up. Not as much as they should do.
Yeah.
And I think, I was very vocal about always speaking to a psychologist. I started from the age of 17, not because I had some profound problem, because I think people will imagine you have to lay on a chaise long and start crying and saying that all these terrible things happened to me. I've had a privileged background. Nothing bad has happened to me, but obviously I still have stuff going on because everyone in this room, everyone watching TV has got something going on. It could be a very extreme thing. It could be as small as not liking what you see in the mirror. It could be, you've woken up feeling bad. And I think with the change room stuff, we did speak about it, but not a lot of people did anything about it. So you'd see guys struggling and complaining, but they wouldn't go and sort it out. And you have to match kind of the speak with work, otherwise you're going to get nowhere.
So there's lots of stuff in this book that when you do get your confidence knocked, you can get straight back out there and get on with life to the best of your ability. Yes,
100%. I think there's a lot of excuses being made these days. We live in a world of excuse-based culture, I think. It's always somebody else's fault. It's always... there's always a reason why you can't do what you want to do. There's always a reason you can't have the body, the relationship, the lifestyle. And look, context is key. Lots of people out there will just be struggling to put food on the table and priorities are very different. But you can profoundly make a difference to your life by looking after your mental health, by putting tools in place to continually go back and work on yourself. And it's not just doing it one day. That's why people talk about new year, new you.
Yeah.
They buy a new pair of trainers, they go to gym once and they think that's going to fix everything and then they give up. being better is something you have to revisit every day. And it's tiring, and it is painful, and it is boring. And do you know what? Some days you will completely fail, and some days you will feel awful and go, why did I even bother? But that's how you make a profound difference.
Well, it's easy to write a goal, but it's setting up the structures in place to get there.
Yes, that is true. You know, again, the goal setting, sometimes, especially we're in January, we're January the 4th now, and everyone's kind of talking about wanting to change their appearance, right? If you want to say you want to get fitter or change your body, it's such an abstract thing. It's very difficult to know how to do it. And people give up because it seems so big and difficult. Go back to the basics and go, look, you know, what am I doing training-wise? Do I even know how to train? Do I even understand what my goal is? You know, because first of all, understanding what you want to do, because people want to be bigger, faster, fitter, stronger. No. Do you want to lose weight? What does that look like? Then go to look at your nutrition. Do you even understand nutrition? Are you putting any time in there to it? And then you go, what's my sleep like? Well, all the things you could do. I can give you 50 things to change, and suddenly you've got some areas to work on, as opposed to just going, I want to get fitter, I'm going to go to the gym. And for me, the book was kind of a guide to, be straight talking, because I think in 2022, we're very much about kind of, buttering everyone up and saying, anything's achievable. You can be anything you want to be. You can't. It's hard work and it's difficult to achieve.
I mean, you use some very strong language in this book, to get your point across.
Well, you've never sworn at Andy since I met you, so that book you might have to have a lie down after reading that.
I just read the F word. I was like, oh, I'll close the book there, shall I? But no, I mean, that's the great thing about it. As you say, the whole cancel culture thing, we are all responsible for our own actions, and you make it really well known in here. Do you know what? You can only be the best you can be. How in heaven's name, you are the son-in-law of Richard Madeley. I mean, literally, two people I would never be able to put in a room together, you and Richard. How was Christmas?
Christmas was good. This year he wasn't allowed to cook.
Right.
Because he can get quite fiery in the kitchen. The first time I met him, I got invited over on Boxing Day. I was told that he can be a little bit tricky in the kitchen. Don't go in there. Of course, that was a red rag to a bull. Son-in-law wanting to make a good impression. I went in there, gave him a bit of chat.
Yeah.
I was told he used one of those F words in the book that you don't know about. And I quickly went back to my wife and I said, listen, I think I probably need to go. Your father-in-law's just told me to go away in no uncertain terms. She went, oh, don't worry, he does that to everyone. He did it to Jamie Oliver. So this year, he was thrown out of the kitchen because he wanted stress-free. Yeah. So Chloe's brother, Dan, cooked an absolute storm, smashed it.
Lovely.
Very relaxing. We looked after, like royalty, and it was amazing.
And how is it being a daddy?
Yeah, being a dad's amazing. Look, again, that's another profound thing that changes you. People talk about love, and you have lots of different relationships in your life, and you love in very different ways. But there is something so primal about the love you have for this baby. As soon as I saw her heartbeat on the first scan, I cried like a baby. As soon as she came out, I cried like a baby. And she can get away with murder. She's going through a sleep regression now, and my wife is the true hero. But she, all she has to do is smile at me, and I'm the happiest man in the world.
Oh, amazing.
James, always a pleasure, always a pleasure. Good luck with your new book,
Here
Approach with Caution, Without Caution.
I would approach with caution as well. If you're a bit sensitive,
right.
There's a few sensitive sausages out there in 2022. If you like it, and you don't mind getting offended, read it. If you get offended, read it anyway. You might learn something.
Oh,
I like what you did there. Very good.
Yeah, very good. Motivational speaker you are.
Thank you.
A massive.
And he's a DJ.
Yeah, and a DJ, yeah, and a presenter and a podcaster.
I haven't got time for all
all
of
right,
that.
sorry, yeah, OK.
He's been on for 8 minutes, that's enough. That's more than James Haskell than anyone can take, let's be honest.